Greetings and welcome to the podcast. I'm here with
Whoa! It's not a podcast.
Oh
Remember?
shit. Oh shit. Greetings and welcome to Game of the Month. I'm here with Colin for Video Game Book Club, which is not a podcast.
Nope.
The rules are simple. One person picks a game and you got to beat that game in a month. Then you get to pick the next game for, I guess, me to play once your month comes around. Because even though everybody has a fucking opinion on what games we should pick, every time I tell them, hey, join book club, they puss out real quick. Games that were not in book club, I played the shit out of Last Epoch. It's one of the best ARPGs I've ever played. And Last Epoch is big stuff, doing great things. And a new Tekken thing came out. So I participated in that a little bit. What did you play?
How was that? That was Tekken.
It's Tekken, dude. I'm excited for it to come back. They gave Nina guns, and didn't need them. Character works fine without them, but she has guns now. I feel as though this game is going to be a lot of bullshit all day.
I mean, so was the last one.
Yeah, faster bullshit, though, which is good for me, bad for other people that like slower bullshit.
The take turns.
Yeah. What'd you play?
What did I play? Decent amount of backpack battle.
Oh, I saw people playing the demo. Doucheless was playing the demo as well. How was it?
It's pretty. I mean, it's an auto battler, so it's like I think there's like a cap on the fun, but
yeah,
I like the inventory management shit. It's fun.
Well, that's
for
the
a
whole
demo
game,
anyway.
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter what your randomly matched opponent has, because you can't do shit about it, you know?
Yeah.
So you kind of just... Those auto battler games are weird, because you're kind of just... You're playing against other people, but not really.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind, like, tug of wars and stuff, but, like, building an auto battler on, like, one... It's just one guy, right?
Yeah, like one character, yeah.
Yeah, that's... I see money afoot, dude. That's what I see.
We'll see. It's good for a demo. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but
Yeah.
it's definitely... I put like 5 hours into it, so...
For the demo?
Yeah, it's like addicting, and it takes like minimal effort to play, since you don't do anything. You just move shit around in an inventory and click play.
That's pretty sick.
So it's a good like low effort time wasting game.
Oh, I watched that what is it? They Can't Save You or whatever it is, the Alien movie.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
It's good. I liked that there was like no dialogue in it, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was good because there was no dialogue, and they said a lot. Like they said a whole bunch.
It was definitely interesting.
The ending sucked.
What do you mean?
The ending was stupid.
It wasn't good. I don't know. Did you watch that other movie?
No.
That one's better. That one's better.
Yeah, the whole time I was like, man, these aliens are gonna have a real tough time when they find someone with a gun, and it never happened. What's game of the month, Colin?
I played other games, dude.
What other games did you play?
Melee.
Oh,
Just
my
played a
fucking
Melee
God.
tournament.
Oh, a whole tournament?
Yeah, didn't do good.
Online
Haven't played a lot of Melee. Yeah, online.
Okay.
Played a little bit of finals. The finals.
Oh yeah, no, I did. I skipped this one. I don't know if it's out or
It's open beta. It's fun. I think it's good. It's fun. You played Halo.
I did play Halo. I played.
It finally works now.
Yeah, it started. Halo didn't work for me for I don't know 6 months, 7 months, and then an update came out that let me play it. I was scared because it came out with another update, but yeah, I played like this community like. Cause the homies in the Discord wanted me to play, and I don't think I shot a gun the whole night except for the last game, Like it was,
Really?
yeah, yeah. It was like bumper cars and like fusion frenzy stuff, and I'm like,
Oh,
can
that's
we,
sick.
can I have a gun? I just want to shoot
That is
something.
sick unless you're actually trying to play Halo.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, there's a griff ball mode where it's kind of like rugby or football. You're on a football stadium, and you just
yeah,
like everybody's got gravity hammers, and you're running to each end zone. It was decent. Like,
Battle Right. You played Battle
played
Right.
a shit ton of Battle Right and League because that's the only game Brad will
Oh
play
my,
with us.
that is
Yeah,
what's
sucks.
going on?
What's going on? Well,
Uh,
Custy's is most poppin' for a League game because with Custy's you get Prey, you get Brad and Josh, and then Prey brings in his friend that I won't that I won't add, but he gets to join for League. I hate
thought
League.
Brad was supposed to be playing Blasphemous, dude.
Oh
Remember?
yeah, no. Update on that. He got 5 hours in and then quit.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
who would have thought?
And then
Who
I
would have
said,
thought he didn't finish?
Brad, I understand it's a hard game, and he goes, it's not hard. I'm like, okay,
He didn't beat it though.
yeah,
How can he say how hard it is if he never beat it?
exactly. And then he's like, oh yeah, no, I tried playing it before, and I got to the second to last boss. Oh well, that means it was too hard for you, and you quit. What else could that possibly mean?
Yeah, if you got that far and quit, there's only like 20 minutes more a game.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense. And in the last like 2 days I started a Castlevania game that I'm almost done with.
The stark contrast, isn't it? Like a vast difference, don't you think?
It's considered the worst GBA Castlevania, and it's better than Blasphemous in a lot of ways. So I don't want to shit on Blasphemous, but
Well, on God, I was about to fucking pick Blasphemous 2 because it looks so much better.
it does look from what I've seen, just from the little bit of it, it looks like they fixed like all the bad things of this game.
Yeah, I'm probably going to play Blasphemous 2 on my own. I did not want to waste a game of the month on it though. It's too precious. I worked too hard this month, you know.
So that means you like Blasphemous 1 enough to play the sequel.
I it's tough because when it comes to games in the genre, it's bad. It's like really bad. It
Yeah,
expects way too much of you. It insists upon itself.
it really is just like a 2D Dark Souls game pretending to be a Metroidvania.
Yeah, which I don't mind, and that's how it was marketed, at least like by the community that played it. It's like 2D Dark Souls or et cetera, et cetera. But I just it just seemed like bad Castlevania.
Well,
And
because we played Aria of Sorrow, and that's considered like one of the best Metroidvanias. And
even
it's like,
Deedlit. I mean,
yeah,
Deedlit you
Deedlit's
can
good.
fly through, but I would rather the sense of progression in Blasphemous is fucked. It's it's completely fucked.
You mean you don't like getting bones?
And to like I think the biggest problem is that to progress you are expected to do way more than somebody who isn't really into the game wants to. Um like to get I ended the game with 3 powered abilities.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And and the blasphemous expert in the Discord kept saying about how you had to do all this extra shit, and it's also timed, so you have to do some shit before other shit. And it's like, not only do I have to look up which shit is gatekeeping my other shit, but I also have to do all the like to get regalia or whatever, the big power move, that shoots a giant laser that gets shot at you 400 times in boss battles. That's like a 7-part quest. Um,
Well, even worse, you can't even get the true ending to this game unless you play it twice, which
yeah,
I personally hate. I think that's stupid.
not a fan of that. But that all that is like a double-edged sword because like as much as I might complain about it because I wasn't full in on the blasphemous story, um people that like this game have enough content to where they can keep playing it for longer than other Metroidvania games.
Yeah.
Um because it starts off strong. Let's go to the beginning. You get this cute little cutscene, and then like the atmosphere and the world looks really sick. Like I have no problems with the art. I got like the art's phenomenal.
I mean, that's the strongest part of the game. There's so many NPCs that you just like look at, like, holy shit, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, I really do enjoy the world. What little of it I personally got to see. Um, because I like the religion aspect. I like the idea of like this pseudo Catholicism, pseudo Christianity type thing. Um, I don't know. I like it a lot. But the insistence of hiding your game's story in little item
Well,
descriptions,
and lores. Yeah. I
like
mean, Dark Souls people love that shit. I can't get into it.
yeah, it's just not for me particularly.
Not that
Um,
I want to be. Here's the thing. I think that's cool if you hide shit in there that like adds to the overall narrative. But putting the whole narrative in there is stupid. At least give me like something, you know?
yeah. For instance, like Soma. Soma is like an A to B story that you can get through and play it and be like, wow, that was a story. And then it has like little notes all throughout the game. Or like even Bioshock Infinite, same thing. There's notes throughout the game. This is like where the notes of the story and the basic going through the gameplay is like the bits and pieces. And
Yeah,
it
because at
wants you to
most
play more. It wants
the
you to play a lot.
the story beats will only ever give you 3 paragraphs of dialogue at most at a time ever, and it's like out of order and it has nothing to do with anything, and you need like 7 different items to even piece together what that means. I hate it.
Yeah. And there's other games that did this, like Nier Automata did this, and like the Dark Souls people, of course. I'm personally not a Souls fan. I haven't beaten any Souls games. This is the first Souls like I guess game if they wanna keep
Steel
Blasphemous.
Rising.
Well, Steel Rising I guess is, but I mean that's throw a bomb simulator.
Yeah.
Um, and that's another thing. Like that's the downfall of the Souls genre, I think, as well, is that the game is kind of on like a it's on like a graph of like you keep traversing upwards towards fun, because like doing it naturally is the fun part. Like when I beat a boss in Blasphemous, I was stoked. It was very cathartic. It had this great sense of accomplishment. It felt great. Um, the problem is that the more you play these games, in all of the genre, whether it be 2D or 3D, eventually cheese is found, or you'll find cheese, or you'll look up cheese, and then that takes the piss out of everything. So it's
Yeah.
like you can only go so far with it, before the fun stops existing. Um,
Well,
and
these
that's
games are also the king of like people like, oh, you put like these self-made restrictions on yourself.
yeah.
Like you can't use this item, or you have to use this or this piece of shit thing to do it. It's like
And it's odd because, like, with the people that have played this game before, the people watching it, they're like, go back and get this instead of doing the final boss. And I'm like, I'm embracing it for what it is, dude. This is what I got, and this is what I'm doing it with. And that's what I did. I beat it with what little the game gave me just from progressing.
yeah.
Um, but I'm not going to sit here and bellyache, oh, it was too hard. I don't think it was too hard. I don't think it was
It
too hard at
honestly
all.
no, this game's really not like crazy. It's not easy, but it's not like honestly we've played harder games.
Yeah.
Straight up, Blue Dragon was harder. Um, what else? That what you call it?
Crosscode was infinitely harder than this game, in my
That
opinion.
that was harder. Creature in the Well was harder.
Yeah.
Because this game, it's like, I don't know. The boss will fuck you up a few times, but you'll figure it out eventually. Like,
Yeah.
eventually you just figure it out, and it's not that hard.
And I'm a fucking run into the wall until I break it kind of guy, and I've learned I got him in my head now. It's like if I go and fight the second to last boss or any boss in the game, it'll take me like maybe 2 attempts before muscle memory fully kicks in and I could probably beat it. Like
This game's pretty good about that. Like, it kind of rewards you for just doing it over and over again, because the patterns are they don't really change, and you'll learn it eventually.
Yeah, out of everything, like even the final boss, like the they keep like the RNG pretty minimal, and the powered up versions, like when you fight a boss in this game, the powered up version comes at like somewhere between half and a quarter of the way through, depending on which boss you're at. And their power up version is usually just like exactly that, the same moves but with extra properties. Um, this is best showcased in the fire boss, where like he shoots down pillars of fire after teleporting from the ceiling, and instead of shooting one pillar of fire, he shoots three. Like it's all stuff like that. So if you're dodging the right way all the way through, you don't even have to change up your game plan for the second half.
Right.
Um, if you learn not to be greedy and you memorize their move set, you'll be fine. It's not that difficult of a game. That being said, I died a lot. I died a whole bunch.
Well, I think the real difficulty in this game is the platforming because it's not done that well, and that's a majority of the game.
Yeah, because there's no fucking air dash. I looked into it. There's no air dash that I was able to find. I didn't see any air dash in gameplay. I mean, there is probably an air dash somewhere. Like somebody somewhere has an air dash in Blasphemous 1.
Well, it's because like you have to do that thing where if you hit an enemy and you hold the button down, it like keeps you in the air. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and it's just like there was one thing that was not intuitive at all, and it was swinging the sword to latch onto ledges. I didn't really. Maybe that's because of the control scheme I had, because I played on keyboard, which is not the recommended way to play this game. But that was like a minor complaint, very minute complaint, is that was not feeling great. Because I'm used to just like sticking to a ledge if I can stick to it.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't, especially because they introduced it, and there's also like the wind mechanic in the snow place,
Yeah,
which makes it even more goofy.
which was a little bit aggravating, but I thought it was going to be the most aggravating part of the game. It is not. This game is littered with beginner traps, and there's a difference between difficulty and cheesing the player, and this game cheeses the player a lot, like
Yeah,
an astounding amount.
there's a part of the game. I don't know if you did it, but it was literally I was so fucking mad. It's Do you know those lightning balls? I don't know if you went
Yeah.
down there with the ship, dude.
No, no, I don't know what you're talking about then.
Oh my fucking god, dude! That's one thing that pisses me off about this game. It's buggy, dude. The hitboxes on some shit are so fucked.
I didn't notice any of that. I wasn't paying that much attention. I just steered
Oh,
clear of everything as much as I possibly could.
let me see if I can find these fucking things, dude. I
Cause,
have to show you.
well, while you're looking, I can tell a story. There was one specific part where the game actually bugged and killed me. It was where you're going towards the elevator. It's basically like the last elevator, and you stop at the elevator and wait for it to come down. Well, in this specific instance, I got locked into waiting for the elevator, and then it teleported me to the top of the screen and said I died. This would not be that bad, but there's no save point that's anywhere near this elevator. It's at the top, okay? So I had to go back for to and fight the mini boss again, because it's one of those bosses. Most enemies you could just dodge right through. This particular one you can't, and he's mandatory to cross into the bridge that you need to go to. The elevator, not the bridge. The bridge is a completely different part of the game. And then after that, once you get to the top of the elevator, the place where there's the save point has a death pit where if you don't jump immediately and you're still holding sideways or forward, however you want to put it in this context, you'll just fall right off.
Yeah,
So,
there's so many like doors you just walk through. If you keep holding, you fucking fall in a hole.
yep,
It's stupid, but
the maze of doors where you have to get the scribe's key or whatever, that
yeah,
half of those, like the floor falls out from under you with no warning. There's invisible walls, there's invisible passageways and walls everywhere, which is cool. Like I get that. but I'm not gonna complain about invisible passageways. That's like a mainstay for like the entire genre. But like being low health and falling through the floor without any like indication that the floor is falling and then getting put into a death room sucks.
I found it. Look, this shit is like I died so many times. This is one of the most. It's so fucked up. Look at this shit. There's like 7 rooms like this with these balls, and they're all fucked. You get hit no matter what. He
Oh my.
climbs up the dude. It's so bad.
There's just like ledges and lightning and just
And he
nonsense everywhere.
he literally grabs the ledge, comes up the other side of the wall, it still gets hit with the ball. It's so fucked up. It was aggravating, and it ended up being pointless because you didn't even go down there, so you didn't need to do it.
No, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this game that you didn't need to do. Like I thought I had to go left instead of right, and going left. I mean, sorry, it was right instead of left. I thought I had to go right instead of left, which entailed getting. It was 3 levels, and you had to get a gate unlocked on each level, and that took like 40 minutes, and it was for another mea culpa just to upgrade your sword. And I was on like an odd number of sword upgrades, so it didn't even do anything for me. Cause like you upgrade your sword at like 3, 5, and 7 or some shit, like
Yeah.
which I was also not a fan of.
Oh, I
Um,
think the upgrades suck. They're not even cool.
no,
You don't really even get cool abilities.
no, you need the first one. This is like you need one of each, like just to play the game. Like it's just like, and if the I don't know if the game was asking too much of me or I wasn't giving the game enough of my credit because I beat the game. I got to credits. Like I played the game. I think I had 14 hours in it at the end. A lot of that was because of my incompetence. I probably could have beat it in 7 if I did everything straight through. But I feel like I explored quite a bit of this game, like a lot of it, and I didn't use a guide at all, except for having to find the last key. I ended up missing a boss to get to get the elevator to go as far as I possibly could.
Oh,
Um,
for like the mask things you have to get.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it sounds like I'm complaining the whole time, but in actuality, it's like it's a serviceable game. It's a Metroidvania. It's just like made there to piss you off, and I get that. And it's for people to go, "Oh, you're not doing this, you should get good," you know? You didn't
Uh,
get that, you should get good. You missed that?
it being a Metroidvania is what makes me like dislike it more. Because I hate doing shit for 40 minutes and then getting a bone or something like. I just never got like a cool ability or a
Yeah.
cool like I don't know.
Because you're supposed to be stoked. It's like, oh, I worked really hard. Now I unlocked a new piece of the story. But I don't fucking, like, it's not that I don't care. It's that, like, it's insulting to me and my time, especially because we do it like this. I feel as though this is a game that we should have played on our own volition. And this is like the monkey paw of game of the month. It's like you want to beat the game. That is the main objective. And this is a game you're supposed to like masochistically enjoy. And it's just not something that I would have played for that reason. The game punishes you just for progressing all the time. You go
Yeah,
into a new
it's
room, you fall. There's you go a little bit too fast. There's spikes. You know.
and it's like in that video I watched like oh it's because it's the theme, but I think I feel like that's a cop out.
Yeah, I mean, the character designs are tremendous. The atmosphere is right. Um, I don't think I read the word miracle once in the story. Do you remember anybody mentioning the miracle, like from A to B, just progressing through the game without watching a video on what the story's about?
Yeah, the I know the one dude talks about the miracle, the dude with the ropes.
Yeah, the rope diaper.
Yeah, that guy talked about it. But that I think the final boss mentions it. I don't but when they mention it, it's just like they just you know. it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, because
After watching the video, it's like, oh, I totally understand. But
yeah,
before that, I have no idea.
when you're just playing the game to play the game like a normal person, like not like going into it like, oh, I'm trying to decipher it. Like it just seems like vague religious talk the whole time. Um,
Which is kind of how Deedlit was. You know, it's like the story's all. It's just vague. It makes no fucking sense.
yeah, but
Which
Deedlit
I just
rounds it
don't
out
like
at
that.
the end.
Sort of. That game was just like super short and like better gameplay wise. It
Yeah.
flowed better. This game has like a flow issue, kinda.
Deedlit also had like the worst, it was all a dream, but it was real, like bullshit.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they didn't do in this. I don't mind the ending I got either. I think it's I think it's perfectly reasonable if I just beat the game like and play it like a regular game and don't do what the game wants me to. It's okay to have me just like get eaten up by the mountain and give me credits. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
Um,
for like, because sometimes bad endings are like so bad it's like, okay, you have to get the good ending, you know?
yeah.
This wasn't like, I don't know. And knowing what I think the good ending's not even that good either. The
Yeah.
true ending's cool, but
Well,
you have to
spoiler
do so
alert,
much bullshit.
you just fucking die anyway in every aspect.
Yeah, no matter what, you die.
Yeah, so it's like I have to do this, they would have to make me care about the people that I've met and the bosses that I've fought. And I met I think 6 people which are in the fucking they don't do anything. They don't go anywhere. You hand them like rosemary and shit and sage and they're just chilling in their house being sad. And then like the bosses like again didn't know this playing the game, but after I watched the synopsis it's like okay, they're transformed by the miracle. Like one of the most interesting ones is like this like what appears to be a young kid, like a 7-year-old kid, but he's a giant and he's got a bald spot and a face for a chest.
Oh yeah.
Like
He's a monk. Yeah, the monk guy.
like that's interesting body horror shit. And the rope diaper guy, like he's cool and everything, but I just kept thinking about how uncomfortable the rope diaper would be, you know, like they do a great job with setting that kind of scene. But that doesn't make me care about them.
Well, and they're so fucking grotesque and weird. I don't like. It's kind of hard for me to care about the NPCs.
Yeah.
Like I look at them like, yeah, I mean that sucks, but I got shit to do. Like,
Cause it's like, and then there's like the side thing where it's like, oh well, one of them is like, he's like not even part of the story. It's like a separate story of like, it's the skeleton boss that's being held up by arms.
oh yeah,
Which from the boss that I fought before was pretty simple at the time, so I was like I just kind of like blew through him. But like that's not even like a miracle thing. That's just like a separate story of where like oh they kissed his forehead and hoisted him up and now you got to fight him for some reason. It's like I sound ignorant cuz I am even though I already like watched the thing and played the game. I still don't fully grasp what I'm supposed to grasp. And I don't think that's entirely my fault or the player's fault. Like, if you played this game and you don't understand it, I think that's what it's meant to be. I don't think you're supposed to have all the answers, which pisses me off, but I get it.
I'm assuming the sequel rounds it out. You know,
Yeah.
because I mean it has to. Because there is stuff that's like left vague and it doesn't really make sense. Also, I don't even understand how there's a sequel when you fucking disintegrate in every ending. But
Yeah. Well, because, you know, a giant heart comes down from the fucking clouds and you're reborn, assumedly, or some shit.
yeah,
Also, the true ending of you fucking going with what's her name, Callistia, or whatever the fuck, and like
yeah,
having this like fucking oh me and you against the world type thing when she just beat your ass for a fucking beat my ass for like 45 minutes, hour and a half, and then she's like
well,
I'm your
you
friend
gotta
now.
break the chains, dude.
Yeah, break the chains of her fucking, oh, I was just, you know, really into my religion and the now I don't care. It's like it doesn't make me care about her.
some of those bosses too, and like the DLC for the true ending. I was looking. I'm like, these kind of look lame. They kind of look like rehashes from the what you call it. Like they're doing like the same fireball move and shit from like half the bosses in the main game.
Yeah, well, there's
I was
one
like,
DLC boss that I like, the snake. I think the snake's cool.
the snake's cool. I did see the snake, and I was like, I wish I kind of fought that thing. All the other
Yeah,
ones, I was like, these are just. It feels like a bunch of stuff I've already fought.
but it's like every point I have against it, I can't really knock against it fully because I don't like that the story's all like parted, but people might, and I don't like that I have to work incredibly hard for basic like necessities and power-ups, like basic progression. It would, in my opinion, other people might not view it as basic progression, but I do. If and maybe I'm spoiled because in other Metroidvanias, like if you go throughout the story and you do some very clear side quests, you end up flying, you know? And this is
I,
just not that type of game.
and I think playing other Metroidvanias fucks this game in a sense because if you just never had the experience of playing another one of those games, it wouldn't. I feel like I couldn't be as harsh on this game because it's not like bad, but
Yeah, because well,
I don't get to fly, you know.
yeah, I watched a couple of reviews and they're like, "This is the first game of its type that I've played, and it's so cool." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, no, I get it because it's your first type." Like Tower of Time is my first CRPG in a long time. It's not my first like real time with pause CRPG ever, but it was like my introduction back into it. That game is mid at best, but it's still I still think it's great, you know.
right.
Um, but like,
But if
and
you
then
play
and
Pillars
but
2
then
first, you
but then
know.
I play Pillars 2 and I'm like this isn't even close, you know? Which, you know, a lot of people Pillars 1 was the first real time with pause game they played and then they play Pillars 2 and they don't like it as much, which I get, you know, but like if this is your first Castlevania like and you don't have interest in that genre, but you want to play something that has sort of like soul stories and you like religious stuff, like this is the game for you. I enjoyed like pretty much everything aside from the gameplay. Like,
It's really the worst part is the gameplay because well, this I think the story's cool once I understood it, and I mean the aesthetic and theme are like top tier.
yeah, the aesthetic's astounding. And it does have this like brooding, dark, like no hope atmosphere. Um which is why I think people put it to the Souls games as well, because all of those games are like it's you and you have no friends and you gotta save everything. Goodbye. Like,
Yeah,
um
the game starts off so strong too. You kill that first boss, and then the blood leaks into the helmet.
yeah.
It's kind of downhill from there. I was disappointed too because there was like a ton of cutscenes in the beginning, and then they kind of stopped.
I didn't see a cutscene for like 10 hours.
Yeah, that kind of bummed me out because those were cool. I liked those.
Yeah, if they added like a little cutscene, like after you did a main quest, because there's like 7 main quests that you do throughout, and I didn't even know when I finished them. You know, it's just like I was doing the Metroidvania thing, going to places I haven't gone before, and then like finding the place to go. Because other Castlevania types, like this is the blue key, open the blue door. This is the red key, open the red door. Whereas this is like go to the very specific spot and fight the boss maybe to get the thing that you have to equip to progress, and if you don't you'll never progress.
And this game breaks it up weird too because it's like there's 3 bosses you can fight in any order, and then you open a door, and then there's 3 bosses you can fight in any order to move an elevator, and then the game ends basically.
Yeah,
There's really not a lot of like locked doors in a sense. You kind of just get like put in an area and you can kind of do whatever you want. It's different. I don't know if I like it, but
yeah, the place I spent the most on was the bell stage. I don't know how long the bell stage took you, but it took me a long fucking time.
well, because you're kind of just like you have to keep going through it, and then the elevator, and then it's
Just
like all
over and over, dude.
yeah, like on the rooftop. I spent a lot of time just I got lost, and then because it's super confusing. And then I went down to that boat area, which did not need to, and spent about 2 hours dying to blue balls.
Yep, didn't even see the boat area.
Yeah, and, that probably improves the game for you because it fucking sucked.
Yeah. And again, it's not because the game is too difficult. I think the game is actually as difficult as it needs to be. I think they got the difficulty fairly solid when it comes to enemy like and bosses because enemies are solid in this game. They're built well. And bosses especially, I think some of them are really built better than others, but at its peak, I think are really really fun. Like Hammer Guy and Spear Chick. Hammer Guy was one of the toughest bosses I faced in the game. It took me a long, long time. I think it took me 2 days to beat Hammer Guy because he has so many things he could do.
Yeah.
And then after I beat him, I felt like I could do anything, and it's just like that confidence boost. But again, there's a difference between difficulty and cheesing the player, and this game definitely has just fucking player cheese all the time. Some rooms that can drop you down to a second screen, and other rooms that can't, which are established by fog. And even though there's like a top platform right there because it's in the other room that you go down, there's fog
Yeah.
there, so it like just says that you fall forever, which aggravated me a little bit in continuity. In Blasphemous 2, you get multiple weapons. You do not get multiple weapons in this game.
Which is like, because some Metroidvanias, like, so there's like 3 Castlevania games on the Game Boy Advance. Like Aria of Sorrow is more like Symphony of the Night, where you get a bunch of different weapons, which I think is like peak. I think
It's
having like different weapons with different animations is the best.
it's my biggest complaint. Like if I had to pick one thing to pick this game apart for, it's because like there is no weapon variety, and I think that is a necessity in Metroidvanias.
I think you can have one weapon, but I need ways to modify that weapon to make it do different things at the cost of something else. Like if I could have equipped something to the sword and then make it like have different like swings or have like different properties, that is okay. The way they did it where it's like it just like upgrades and you can get like new moves even though you kind of already have the moves, it's trash, I think.
Yeah, because I know what people are gonna say. They're gonna be like, "Oh, well, you can upgrade to do like an extra ender." Like I picked the ender where you could go up into the air, you know.
Yeah.
But to do that, you have to get Mia Culpas, and to get Mia Culpas is a tedious pain in the ass. This game should be called Tedious instead of Blasphemous.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
very tedious game.
the upgrades are bad. Like none of them are. There wasn't a single upgrade. Okay, there was some where I looked at, I'm like, oh, that'll be cool, projectile, and then I get it, and I'm like, this is so fucking underwhelming.
It's so bad.
Or the charge attack, it's like, honestly, you
Never
could
use
just,
the charge attack. I was so stoked to get the charge attack. You'll never use it.
yeah, no, you're literally just get the 4 swings, and you're good, and the dash attack's okay. But yeah, I don't know, it's disappointing because the game really doesn't give you any abilities, and then it lets you upgrade like RPG-esque stuff, and then they all fucking suck.
And like movement tech, like that's another fun thing about Metroidvanias is that you get to find movement tech and chain other movements together. You get your dash, and the fastest movement that I've seen is just dashing forward or dashing and then jumping. Whereas
Well, that's
like
the
in Aria Sorrow, didn't you, or was it D-Lit? One of them you like dashed back and then fucking did a hop forward, dash back, and like that
that
shit's
was it was
fun.
deedlit with the slot. Yeah, there's like movement tech.
Yeah. Which there's like combo tech where you could like extend your basic combo by like canceling it by turning around and stuff. Like there's that stuff. But
Well,
like
that's one of the biggest issues of this game. At the end of those games, you feel like a fucking god. This game, I felt literally exactly the same almost as when you fight the first boss. You
yeah.
just have more health. Like I didn't feel stronger. I felt better at the game, but I felt like my character wasn't any stronger than the beginning.
Yeah. Which also, I mean, it could be like it could be cool to go through the game and be like, okay, I beat this straight, no upgrades, whatever, whatever. Because you can. I mean, I'm basically proof because I didn't have shit by the end of the game. Like aside from using the Thunderbolt, like to get those extra little hits on the boss, there's no extra shit that I did to beat the final boss. It was through sheer persistence.
Yeah, the
Like,
only shit you had was like more flasks. Because I
yeah,
never upgraded the flasks, but I had way more health from like getting the health upgrades.
yeah, and
But either way,
you can get like more mana and stuff to do more stuff, which the game can make you feel better if you really, really work for it. You could get that giant laser with the three mana bars and do three giant lasers and get the full like no matter where you are on the final boss because we gotta talk about that final boss in a second. Um, actually, we'll weave it in. So like the final boss has platforms and they come and go. Um, and there's this sword that acts like the booze in Mario, where if you look at it, it runs away, and it can run away off screen to where you can't hit it. And if you keep looking towards it while it's off screen, it will never show up again. Fun fact. Um, so then like a face will open up and you can actually hit it. Sometimes whether it be through the AoE attacks that are put up or the platform setup, you'll miss a full cycle. But if you have the giant laser attack that you spent X amount of hours getting on a completely optional side quest that you'll probably have to look up to figure out, you could just like stand under it and shoot a giant laser and get the full value out of it. Um,
but it's like getting that's what I hate. It's like you're talking about making this like a 10-hour game. That's what turns it into a 25-hour game.
yeah,
And you're only getting like one or two extra items. And that's what pisses me. Like you're spending all this time for one item.
yeah.
Like you should be able to play through the game and have like a bunch of shit, like so many abilities that like you don't even want to use. You find one you like. Like I didn't even have an ability I liked. There wasn't even like choices.
I liked the thunder ability. I didn't have a problem with the thunder ability because it was like the laser ability, but significantly worse. And
But did you really have any other choice?
no, because the other choice is like the first one you get where it like rolls across the floor. That's fucking useless.
A sword power up.
And then the sword speed power up. I at least I think it's speed. It's
Yeah,
something.
it's speed. It seems useless. I can't even tell if it's faster.
I used it for like a boss and then never used it again. Um, yeah, because a lot of this game is like if you like it, there's more. If you don't, it's, you don't have to do it. But if you don't like the game, like, and you don't want to search out more, the game's gonna be more difficult. Which, if you're like me and you got people like standing behind you, because I like fucking showing people that I'm playing the game and going through it and bitching and saying where it's good, but if somebody's behind you and they've played it and they're like, oh, just do this, just doing that is like 3 hours, and I'm at the
Yeah,
final boss.
yeah, it's not like because when we played Castlevania, it's like to get the true ending, you only have to do like 20 more minutes of stuff. To get the true ending in this game, I would have to do hours of things that I had no idea were even like, which really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Just not even the true ending, the good ending. I'd have to go back to all the guilt statues. I have to die 3 times with a fucking bead that was equipped, so it turns into some other thorn thing.
Which
Do like 8 dungeons. Like, come on, dude.
and again, how do you beat this game naturally? Like if you're just like, oh, I want the true ending, like, and but I'm not the hugest fan of this game. I'm not a super fan. I like the game, but it's all right, and I want to beat this in a month. Like, how do you do it naturally without looking stuff up? Because that just seems obscene to me.
I mean, like maybe it's possible. I don't know. We've played a lot of games where it's like I don't even like. There's no way you could figure this shit out on your own.
Yeah, because
Baroque specifically.
yeah, I did I try not to look shit up. I only looked up the one thing to where to get the last key, and it's because I didn't. There was a whole section of the map I didn't go to yet.
Yeah, I got lost that when you kill the fire guy and you get the key to go up,
Yep.
I couldn't find where to use that key. That was the one thing I had to look up.
Yeah,
But
that was
other
the
than that, the game's
bridge.
pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. Yeah.
I got the fire guy and then didn't do the baby with the blindfolded baby. Which again, the lore is sick if you're willing to search it out. But I would play this game and then go watch a video.
Yeah, because
You'll
once I
save
learned about
yourself
that boss from the video, I was like, oh, that's a cool idea for a boss.
Yeah, you'll save yourself 20 hours by just playing the game because you want to play the game. And then, like, if you want to play the game more, go ahead, by all means. If it's sick, keep doing it. But if not, there's a bunch of people have already done it for you. You can, if you beat the game, you have my respect. Okay? You don't have to go back and do it all naturally and look at the files. It's fine. It's really fine. Just look at the fucking video.
I hate files, dude. They're fine, but putting the whole story in bones and items, I just hate that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Which makes sense why I was like, why are there so many quest items? I'm like, and then I realized, oh, all the fucking game. There's even a lore button, dude. So stupid.
Which some games do it decent, like Alan Wake. Alan Wake has a whole fucking like pseudo novel that you pick up throughout the game, and you want to it makes you want to pick up all the pages because you want to be like, oh, I could read this novel front to back if I want to. But like when the incentive is just understanding the story, which has A, plot holes, and B, cliffhangers, like what are we doing here?
Yeah. Even like best case scenario, you understand everything, it still won't make fucking sense completely. So you're gonna spend all this time trying to figure it out, and
Yeah.
you still have to play another game that didn't exist till recently.
The dude that fucking made the video on Blasphemous that I watched, he didn't even know it's still ambiguous whether or not the miracle came first or the three sisters or whatever came first, which I think is wild.
Oh yeah, it's never explained. Like, did the miracle make that, or was the miracle made from that? Like,
Yeah, and maybe it's like the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit thing, where like you're the penitent one, and then that's the other two parts. Maybe I don't know what they're really going for. I'm ignorant to it.
but that's something that shouldn't be so vague. I feel like
Yeah,
that's fucking important. Because sometimes it's okay for stuff to be a little vague. Like, oh yeah, you can like theorize a little, but that's kind of just like the whole point of the game, and
yeah,
it's up for interpretation for no reason.
but yeah, I mean, the game has good parts. I think the boss battles are done tremendously. Um, they were just hard enough to where I felt good beating all of them. There was no boss that I like really ran through, except for the skeleton guy, because of where I was in the story when I beat him. I was pretty seasoned at the game by then. Um,
None of the bosses really pissed me off. Like maybe a little, but it wasn't like I didn't feel like I was getting bullshit. You know, sometimes where it's like so bogus.
yeah.
Every time I die, I was like, yeah, I just need to be better about dodging this, or like I can avoid this.
Worst part of the game was the library by far. Bar none. No, it's not even close. The
The
library
library.
has it's the place where the baby with the blindfold is, and there's ghosts that take up the whole floor,
Oh
and
yeah. They
it,
randomly. I don't understand how they work still.
yeah, and then there's mages, and then there's like flying things that shoot lasers. Like the whole library sucks. And then there's like a puzzle. Okay, this really pissed me off. There's a puzzle, okay, where you have to keep moving like ladders on bookshelves. And you move one ladder and then you move the other ladder, and then you go back down and you move them back. Okay? And then at the end of the ladder, when you're done with the puzzle, there's a mage guy that shoots a boomerang at you and you fall down because he's off screen. So you either have to have lightning fast reflexes to dodge that shit, get hit, which is what I did, and have to do the puzzle all over again, or you get up there and you fucking already know he's there. And it's beginner traps like that that fucking ruin the game for me. And the game is littered with shit like that, where it is just there to inconvenience you. Like somebody somewhere, a level designer was like, it would be funny if we fucked him here. And
Dude,
that's not difficulty. That's being an asshole.
on that boat part with those balls, there's a part where you can like lower a rope ladder to make it a little easier to traverse. Cool. So I do it after like literally spent probably like 45 minutes or an hour trying to do it just because it'd be easier to get back to my dead bodies. When you climb up this fucking ladder, there's this, you know, those dudes that roll around,
Yeah.
the one enemy. There's like a version of that that throws axe like these like anchor axes. It's literally spawns to throw it straight down the ladder while you're climbing on it.
Oh my god.
Dude, it's so fucking stupid. I was so mad. I wasted so much time trying to get this ladder, and it just fucked me.
Jesus Christ, dude. I'm glad I
And
didn't
there's a
go
lot
down
of that.
there.
Yeah, no, it was pointless. There's so much shit like that in the game where it's you're just gonna get hit no matter what.
Yep. There's enemies that jump at you, and then if you're on a ladder, especially a ladder over a fog, like you're dead. It's over.
Yeah.
Um,
Or like those Nephilim that shoot the things. You know what I'm talking about? They shoot in the pattern. It's like vertical and then it's like diagonal. Those
yeah.
energy ball. Yeah, fuck those things. Fuck that dog thing with the angel on its back. Worst enemy in the game.
That's the mandatory enemy, which is just a fucking it's a bullet sponge, dude. That's all it is. Because its
Yeah.
attacks aren't hard to dodge. And you, for some reason, like I said, most enemies you can just dodge through. Like if you really want to run through this game, you can. You can dodge through all the enemies. There's no. It's actually to your detriment to sit there and just attack things. But like 4 enemies in the game, you can't dodge through, and that's one of them. And they put them at very specific spots to slow you down.
Yeah, I hate it. You can't, especially because you can't jump over it either.
No.
It's like just big enough to not be able to jump over.
Well,
And you know, you have to go 10 hours out of your way to get a double jump. So,
yeah, no double jump. And again, there might be an air dash. I might have been lying. I tried looking into it, and either not a lot of people have had the air dash, or the air dash is not called air dash, or because you can't just type in how to get air dash unless I'm
Yeah.
bad at typing. And with Blasphemous 2 just coming out, it was especially difficult trying to find stuff just for Blasphemous 1.
yeah, even if you look up Blasphemous on YouTube, half the shit is just Blasphemous too.
Yeah. Which I'm gonna play. I'm gonna download it at least, and I'm gonna play it for a little bit.
I'm interested in it. It does look like a vastly better game.
Yeah.
So,
And that because it seems like we're just ranting on a Blasphemous hit piece, but that's not the case, at least not from my end. I enjoyed
I don't think
the
it's a
game.
bad game.
I enjoyed the game.
It's not a bad game.
Yeah, I enjoyed the game to the extent to where I'm willing to play a second one. If the game was truly a bad game, I wouldn't even look at the second one. But between the atmosphere and the enemy design, like even the mobs are solid.
There's some cool ass enemies.
Yeah. The thing is that all the enemies in Blasphemous 1, they make sense from a like one-on-one standpoint. It's like this is the attack it does. This is how you counter it. Go get them, you know? But it runs into like the Absolver issue where they want to put a whole bunch of enemies on screen and it's just not made for that. So when you got a guy that like thrusts forward a chandelier at you, along with somebody that's throwing something, along with a guy that jumps, along with a guy that shoots a fireball, like it becomes so tedious to just fucking
Sometimes you just straight up get stun locked by enemies,
yeah.
and it's fucked. Like they'll be rotating attacks, and you just kind of like lose all your health
Yeah,
if you get hit once.
there's this one room where there's a giant bell rolling through it.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's just full of jumping enemies. And it's like, yeah, you can get like past all the jumping enemies, but a couple are gonna hit you, and
Yeah.
you have to be ducking for the bell. So you have to like stand in place. Big pain in the ass. The whole game's a big pain in the ass.
or those rooms. It's towards like the end when you're up on the sky thing, where it's like they'll spawn a bunch of enemies and then you have to kill them because the doors are locked.
Yeah.
Some of those rooms are fucked.
Yeah, because some of them is just mini bosses that you fought before. Like, there's a hammer guy that's, like, pretty much the hammer guy you find on the bridge.
With a dude flying around shooting lightning.
Well, that was the hardest part of the hammer guy boss, is that they got another, like, floating friend that comes at you, and then you gotta
Yeah.
dodge his projectiles. Um, and the final boss is bullshit. Not as bullshit as they could have made it. They could have made it much worse, but
It's just hard because it's kind of RNG dependent. You could just get like a fucked cycle, and
um,
that's annoying.
multiple. It's very easy
Yeah.
to get multiple fuck cycles in one run. Like I think I got 3 cycles in a row where my platforms didn't line up and it started with lasers. So I'd go up to like 2 platforms, I'd go to hit them, I'd get a hit in, a laser would come down, I'd have to dodge out, I'd have to dodge in, there's no more platforms left to get there. And then I go to the edge of the screen to jump on a white platform that's going to be gone soon, and then fireballs start raining from the sky.
Yep. But then some cycles you'll just be like it'll be a platform right by his head, and it's just the green balls. So you
Yeah.
swing your sword and just melt him.
Smack the shit out of him, you know?
That's which sucks because like all the other bosses are pretty non RNG at all.
Yeah. And it's fun finding like the optimal route to get the most damage out of a boss. Like Spear Chick, like she would dash back every time you parried one of her attacks. So you could parry her attack, dash forward, get a full combo in, dash before she jumps back, watch her jump back, jump, hit her, and then do another full combo. And then she'll either go into another parry or she'll jump up. And if you get another parry, you get the whole loop again. Like, that's sick. I like finding that. I think that if I die 20 times and then I start hitting them, I earned that, you know?
Yeah.
But then you get to the second phase and it doesn't matter because it's like a whole new thing, and it's all there to make sure that like you don't get it the first try. So it's like you have to die on a couple bosses just to figure out the moveset.
Which I think's fine.
Yeah. I have no problem with the bosses. I think the boss design is actually really good. Except for I don't really like the blind baby. The blind baby was I don't like snake bosses to begin with. I know I said I like the snake earlier, but that sort of has like a mouth that you hit, you know, but this thing moves around and then shields itself. I'm not a big fan of that.
That one was annoying. I think the design's cool, sort of. The thing you actually fight's kind of annoying and not that cool.
Yeah. Um and the final boss is like it's the most abrasive parts of a final boss, but I get it. Like
They
hit
could
it.
have made it much worse. I've played games with way more phases. I mean, fucking Immortals, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about Immortals when I was doing the boss. I think Immortals is one of the hardest bosses I ever fought.
The only reason I beat it is because I cheesed it and shot arrows at it for 30 minutes.
Yeah. I'm never gonna play Immortals again, but that will be a stain on my gaming career of having to lower the difficulty on Immortals. Yeah, the Blasphemous final boss could have been way worse. But it had the intent to be bad is there.
Oh yeah.
They were like, let's just throw everything at him. Along with a mini boss in the beginning to just eat up health. Cause
Yeah.
what do you call it? Blue Dragon did the same thing. I am not a fan of the kill the fake boss to do the real boss thing. Elden Ring does it. This game did it. Fucking Blue Dragon did it. These sub bosses before the real boss is dumb. Fuck them. Just give me the real boss. I don't care if it's a second phase of the real boss or whatever. Just
Yeah,
like
phases are fine. A whole different boss that's pointless and it's just like it's not even like a skill check. I don't know why they do it.
no, well, the first boss is also RNG dependent. Because it's like you could get lightning and then not be able to hit him, and then into lightning you could go right into fucking what do you call it? The purple one. And if he's at the edge of the screen, you just gotta hop jump and hop duck and
Yeah, 'cause I remember some cycles I would kill them in like 3 seconds because
Yeah.
he just did all the wrong shit.
Biggest complaint about that boss, and I think is inexcusable. He has a teleport ability, but his hitbox because it's a Metroidvania, so like hitting an enemy hurts you. The hitbox for this guy stays up, and his hurtbox does too. Um, but he'll like be at the edge of the screen and then he'll teleport. So you run to the other end of the screen, but in running you go forward and still get hit by him, but nothing's there. That's aggravating to me as all hell. That's inexcusable to me.
And it's really bad because there's really no way to like avoid that. And at least I don't know how because it's not telegraphed. He could just teleport to the other side. You don't really know if he's going into the middle of the screen or not.
Yeah, yeah, and popping up. There's a box before he pops up as well, which again works both ways. You could just like swing randomly and get like the little sparks and be like, oh, he's here, and start wailing and get free hits in. But he'll get that free hit in on you,
Yeah.
which sucked. I give this game a 7.
Yeah, that's probably where I am too. I don't think it's a bad game, and there's a lot of stuff I like. It's just the gameplay is like tainted for me because I've played other games in the genre that I think are much better. I mean, what do you call it? Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night are like the S tier games of the genre. So playing, I don't know, this is kind of just like not good, but
Even Aria of Sorrow. I liked
yeah,
Aria of Sorrow.
that's considered like high tier too. Those games are just I don't know. They have better movement. There's more. There's just so many weapons. There's a lot more fat. This game's really slow.
Yeah. And
Those games are just like you're always getting new shit. Like you're progressing fast. There's a shorter amount of time between bosses. This game's not like that at all.
yeah, and I do get the allure of like the slow, methodical, like you're just a guy, fucking if you want power-ups, work really, really hard for it. But like if I'm 14 hours into the game and I'm on the final boss, like I shouldn't feel shitty about getting there. Like don't gatekeep me and be like I didn't play enough. I got to credits. I should get what like I should get something.
I just
Um
never. At no point did I feel like, oh yeah, this is sick, and I feel like I'm fucking murdering shit.
yeah.
You didn't ever feel like that.
Which again, I think that the Blasphemous guys understand as well because they start out like, okay, well now you get the choice of 3 weapons, so you could automatically feel how you want to. And there's an air dash that I saw, and there's like I watched a little bit of gameplay, and it looks fucking sick. And it looks like you do have the ability to like feel how you want to feel in a Metroidvania. So it's not like they didn't take these ideas into account. I'm sure we're not the first people to feel this way.
Yeah,
But it's not a game too hard get good scenario. It's a game has poor sense of progression scenario in my opinion. I'm not blaming the game entirely. I'm blaming myself for not going out and doing all the extra stuff. But it's also on it's on the game to make me want to do it. And when you actively punish me for going into a new room, I don't want to do it.
yeah. Everything else about the game's good though, which is
Yeah,
why I think it's a 7. Like the only thing I don't like is gameplay and the like obtuse storytelling, but it's fine.
yeah. I mean, for the people that want to crawl tooth and nail, this is a game. Like this is definitely a game, and you'll enjoy it. Like if you really want to feel like you earned everything that this game gives you, like, because I don't want to fight the whole time. I want to fight for 8 hours and then have things become progressively easier, and then have a final boss like that final boss, and just through progressing the story, be able to beat him with some cool shit.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's about it. That's all I
not a
got.
bad game.
No, it's
Worth
not.
worth playing. Worth playing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're crossing off every Metroidvania, like this is a game. If you like Souls and you want to venture into the 2D platformer type thing, like definitely as
This
well.
game is way more for I think a Dark Souls fan than the other. Like it's just way more Dark Souls than anything.
Yeah. It's the second easiest Souls-like I've ever played. Like if you're looking for a real like hardcore super challenge, I don't think this game is it. I don't think that this game is like hard just for hard's sake. I think this game is beginner trap for like padding.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel that way. That if you put beginner traps in a large amount of your game, then you are padding. There's no two ways about it. And I don't think this game needed that kind of padding. I think it works on its own without having a boomerang thrown at you right after a puzzle that you've just beat and got resolved and then put you to the bottom so you have to do the puzzle again. I don't think this game needed that. Um, any other comments?
Uh, I think we covered most of it.
I picked Spiritfarer.
The fuck is that?
It is a furry game
Come on, dude.
where you build a boat.
Why didn't you pick what you call it? Oh, I know. You should have picked the fucking the horror boat game.
Horror boat game.
Dredge.
I was looking at Dredge,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's been on my back. I was like, that's a Frank game. It's a fucking
Dredge is on my back end as well. I have a couple games on my back end, but Spiritfarer is picked because I've had not one but two people tell me that the game is good when I was doing vetting for it, and
well, it's overwhelmingly positive on Steam, so
yeah,
I don't think you fucked up for one.
yeah. Um, but I got some heaters in the works.
Oh yeah.
Some absolute heaters. But I'm looking for another good story game, and Spiritfarer is going to be on the story side.
How long? Oh my god, it's long, dude.
How long is it? 20?
25 hours.
Yeah, it's fine. 25 hours means 20.
This is not a good time. This is mail season, dude.
There's not a lot of gameplay. Just read the shit.
Winter's coming, dude.
Winter is coming. Did we or did we not beat Xenoblade in a month?
That was before I was middle class, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, you did change tax brackets by a substantial amount. Well, we've done worse.
Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah. My heaters are short as well. So yeah, Spiritfarer. The only problem I had with Spiritfarer is I didn't know if you played it yet. So I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
Yeah, I had a very consistent spoiler alert. It's sad. That's it. No story that I've gotten. Just that it's a sad game. So not only is it long, but it's sad, and winter's coming, and you're working a lot.
But it is what it is, YouTube.
All right, that's it.
You got to check out Sinister Snakes, dude.